Hi, Chloe.
Hello. Hi.
Good to see you again.
Nice to see you too.
And after your treatment, tell us your story. What happened in the past?
I'm from Cornwall. I'm quite active. I like to be in the sea a lot, and my prescription was quite high prior to the surgery, but I also had a lazy eye too, which I was really conscious about.
So tell me, how did you wind up coming to us at Centre for Sight?
It all started with a chance encounter that changed everything. I was declined by 9 places, gave up my search because I thought the places that I went, if I wasn't going to be accepted, then I didn't want to take the risk and look abroad in case there was any problems with that. So tried to accept my prescription and my lazy eye, but was really struggling with that. And then last November I went on a flight to Dublin with some friends pre-Christmas. I got sat next to Larry Benjamin, who we got chatting, and he was going to Dublin for a conference. He's an ophthalmologist, and he took my prescription and looked in to see who would be able to help me, and he came up with you.
So you were turned away from 9 places. How did that make you feel?
Every rejection was another knock to my confidence. I was also struggling because my job is a nurse, so I do see lots of patients who go through, really horrible conditions. For me, I was healthy, I could see, I could do activities. So the way I was feeling about myself, I was trying to rationalise, like, I'm okay. This isn't, a major thing, but I was just really struggling to get over that, to accept myself for how I was. I think because my personality, I'm quite a bubbly, friendly person, eyesight is actually a massive thing for communication. And I think it's quite difficult with our generation as well, because there's so much pressure to look a certain way. And I feel that because I just was really struggling to accept myself, because it wasn't something I could hide. The only thing I could hide was myself. When we first met, what was your initial impression of my condition?
Well, I had to put my thinking cap on. Your prescription was very high. We have a process that we follow, as you know, when you came in, you went through the whole rigmarole, right? And I had to wait for all that information. I had to collate it all, but I had to make sure that I had every bit of information required with the right exports of data and so on to come up with a decision as to whether I could do you or not.
Why do you think so many clinics found my case so difficult to treat?
There are sort of boundaries for treatments, and it's good that they didn't find you acceptable for treatment, because if they had treated you, they might not have treated you right. It is a bit of an art form, and not everybody is suitable. You happen to be suitable because you had corneas that were flat, so I could steepen them, and they were also quite thick, so I had tissue that I could use. But you also had some other things going on which I had to take into consideration, and that's part of the art form. Because taking away a lot of tissue is pretty unforgiving if you don't get it right. And so it makes sense, and it's good that they chose not to treat you. But there are very few of us around that will do a high level of correction. Yes, you made me scratch my head a little bit and go, all right, now, so we've got an outlier here, we've got to pay a little bit more attention. What was it like for you with your eye turn and your poor vision before surgery?
My confidence, I didn't have any confidence, and my lifestyle, I'm in the sea quite a lot, I'm quite active, and not being able to wear contact lenses for a long period of time meant that I sort of had to pick certain times within my week as to when I wanted to feel confident.
You were pretty determined to have something done, right?
Yeah.
How determined?
I exhausted all avenues that I thought I had anyway within the UK.
So you went everywhere where you could in the UK? You didn't just confine yourself to Cornwall?
No, I went everywhere. Yeah, everywhere that I could find. Yeah, because some that would accept me for a consultation, because some wouldn't even accept me for a consultation because on the screening I would be a definite no. Did you know that you were immediately able to help when we first met?
No, absolutely not. I mean, you had a high prescription. I was prepared to help, and I've done many patients like yourself, and I have to, you know, what we have to do is treat every patient on an individual basis, right? So we customize treatments to suit the individual eye and the individual person. So as I say, I'm more than happy to take a look and find out if you were suitable, but I wouldn't have known right away whether you were suitable or not without all that battery of testing that we did.
When I came up, a lot of my friends actually came up with me because I was expecting another no.
Yeah,
to support me.
I remember you telling me that.
Yeah.
We were all outside waiting for you.
Yeah, so we went and celebrated afterwards. So.
Good.
Yeah. What were the biggest challenges with my case?
Well, the biggest, so you have a really high level of correction, and while technically we can actually add this to the laser to do it, it could end up causing a lot of harm. But that's what made it even more challenging. There's absolutely no room for error in your case. So that's really what made it challenging, more than anything else. So what was it like before the procedure? What was going through your mind? What was
I was really excited. Me and my friend drove up with me, and we stayed in the vineyard. When we arrived, everyone, the whole team was so lovely, and I felt like I was finally going to accept myself after having the surgery. So everything fell into place.
So you were super confident about what was going to happen? And
yeah, I had confidence in you.
So what was it like straight after the operation? What did you notice? You got off the table, and what was it like?
So my vision was really clear. So I think the swelling came in later, but initially it was really clear. So
what did it feel like?
I was seeing for the first time, without sounding cheesy.
But that's the other thing about this eye surgery, is it also enhances vision. So we don't just correct your +7, we correct any aberration. So we give you an optical system that's more ideal. So it gives you all that HD vision, that high definition vision as well. We can measure it, so we can treat it. And that's what we did as well in your specific case.
How did you feel seeing that impact on me?
No, that's what gets me out of bed in the morning, you know, when we can transform people's lives, and we have a great job. We see this a lot. We take patients who are not able to see, and we restore their vision, and we get them liberated. Chloe, tell me, what you've had the surgery done now. You know, you're not dependent on any spectacle correction or contact lenses or optical crutches. What's it feel like? You wake up in the morning. What's it feel like? In your day-to-day activity, how has it transformed your life?
I know lots of people say this when I was looking into surgery myself, but it is the freedom, the not having to constantly carry a contact solution and have like sanitizer everywhere, but for putting your contact lenses in or your glasses. My glasses always tend to steam up and get scratches and smudges on them too. And I recently went through Europe in the van with my dog and my friends, and we were able to go in the sea, drive long hours, be in the heat, and no concerns.
You couldn't do all that before?
No, I would always have to factor in when I was going to wear contact lenses.
So you've been through the works now. You've been to a lot of different places, and you've been turned down. And we've treated you successfully. What message do you have for those out there who are perhaps in the same position, who've been turned down by other centres and commercial high street centres? What would you say to them?
To come see you, and
but more than that.
Because if they'll get the best treatment that they're able to have safely, and if they're not able to have it, then that's for their best interests.